Then KUAI, Hitomi Sato, arguably match of the event, and then Miwa Harimoto earlier today. KUAI has more than earned her shot at the #1 in the world, at the gold, and we're about ready.
Champions glory on the line. Maverick Arena, let's count this down from 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
From China, KUAI. From China, Yingsha.
And here comes the world #1. Maverick applauds its superstar. She's hunting her 6th WTT Smash singles title, and she has looked formidable so far here at the US Smash. My name is Joe Ratajczak. I am delighted to be welcomed alongside Adam Bobrow in the booth for this final.
Hey, thanks for having me, Joe. What a treat to be here. We are looking forward to what is maybe one of the most even matchups in terms of their last 4 encounters. Shasha is rarely tested, but it's going to take more than just some luck because this is a best of 7.
Absolutely, it's big time. Best of 7, cameras and phones out. This is the tail of the table. Yingsha on your left has a 4-2 advantage over KUAI, but you mentioned it, Adam, their last 4 meetings split 50-50. The woman on your left, she's the gold standard of our sport. She is the world #1. The lady on your right, 22-year-old, has been as high as #3 in the world. So many times we talk about if someone's got a chance, as we see Akram Benatia in the umpire's chair for this one. We'll get underway with the coin toss to determine who's going to serve first here.
Toss, please. Black or red? Black for KUAI and red for Sun. Black, KUAI, you win the toss. What do you choose? Service for KUAI, receive for Sun. Which side? Good match.
So KUAI will serve first in this final. Leaning, racket reveal time, and both of these rackets, extremely fast setups. Grippy rubbers, inverted normal attacking rubbers on both sides for both players. Adam, this is going to be an absolutely fascinating back and forth here.
Yeah, just on the topic of equipment, if you've never played with the Chinese national team professional racket, that setup, it's actually incredibly slow on the forehand in the touch game. It's so tacky. It takes a lot of racket speed to really generate power. It's unlike anything you've ever played with, but they're playing with the best equipment here, from the Yola Horizon to the Enlio Super Weaving Floor, the DJ Plus 40. Man, the DHS ball there with 3 stars, but Shasha always on the ball.
Absolutely, 25 years old, she's a superstar. WTT win percentage, just ridiculous, 91%. She's got 18 WTT titles to her name, and this is how she's got here. Yangsi Liu, the Australian, seen off 3-0. Same for Nina Mittelham, Dina Meshreff, who did so wonderfully to get to the round of 16, unable to put a dent in this woman's armor. Tong Tong suffered in the quarterfinals as well, and then earlier on today, in the semi-finals, it was Wang Yidi, and it was a Shasha win. As we take a look at the first smash of this year, and Shasha getting it done, 4-2 over the world #2 with a blistering forehand counter. And look at the celebration. We love it. She's hunting her second smash of the year, but this is a very dangerous matchup, Adam. So often we talk about whether these challengers can even get their first win against Shasha. This woman's done it more than once.
Yeah, she's in a very, I'd say, exclusive category in that way. It's also interesting to look at players where they are in their career. So Shasha will be 26 at the end of this year, and Kwaiman 22. Elena Zaharia 3-0, Mo Jong 3-1. Shin Yu Bin without dropping a game. That's really something. The Hitomi Sato match is unlike anything you've ever seen before. The best expedite rule match I've ever seen. And then Miwa Harimoto earlier today, incredible. Here's a look back at it.
Yeah, and this was a match where Kwaiman faced the exit door in this one, but she refused to step through it, and she eventually got it done, and that was the moment. 4-3. She spent, in the last 24 hours, as we see some of the fans cheering, she spent nearly 3 hours on table here in the Maverick Arena. So she's got some reps under her.
Man, sort of like the fans, except their reps are just sitting and cheering and enjoying. Not a bad option here. Speaking of options, pick one of those.
Yeah, and this is what they're playing for, that beautiful trophy, and the winner here will go away with 103 thou.
Love all.
Fans have it 3/4 in favor of the world number one, understandably so. But how many times would we have written off Kwaiman with less odds than that already here this week?
Love all. One love.
So Adam, what do you think tactically as we see the first point go Kwaiman's way for the challenger? What has she got to bring to this matchup?
Well, she's got to bring a lot of resilience. She's got to bring a lot of balance, efficiency, and surprise.
1-1.
Closed racket on occasion. We've seen her in doubles where she's been able to handle some of the heaviest spin shots. A break off the net here for Shasha gets her a full swing, so she raises her hand to acknowledge the fortune.
Both of these two have incredibly fast serves that they'll use at time to spear into the body and try and force their opponent back.
This feels like it's been a trend recently with many of the younger players. And while Shasha for Team China is not one of the younger players anymore, she's very up on the trends. For example, not a trend follower, but someone who recognizes a trend and then raises the bar within the trend that already existed. I think there are a lot of things that people forget when they're watching. Like to turn off their flash. No, that there are a lot of ways to win a point in table tennis, that it's not just power. Shasha has so much spin variation in her game. She has a long list of answers.
4-2.
She puts you under such pressure with everything that she plays. She's so well balanced. Look at that, some of the VIPs in the house.
Xiao Zhan on the left, He Xiao on the right, both of whom have been with the Chinese team for quite some time. Everyone else well-dressed. Everyone in the picture well-dressed, some clearly on the job. I like the intention here. Kwaiman looking to get in aggressive where she can. Again, in terms of reading spin, there's a lot to think about because you've got Shasha waiting with the third ball and you've got to get back for your fourth, expecting it to come back. But in this game of cat and mouse right now, mouse played by Kwaiman. She's just on the chase here to stay in it. Shasha in control.
Shasha throws up an apology. A great view from Kwaiman. That final forehand clipping the back edge. Some crowd control needed here. Packed Maverick Arena for finals day. That'll make Kwaiman feel a little better.
It's not easy to get Shasha behind the table. I think Kwaiman, one, with her quality of serve, and two, how it sets her up for her third ball attack. 3, the unpredictability factor. She's so flexible with the wrist. Where is she going to go? Tough to know. Now we're talking.
6-4.
So the serve, quick follow-up, backhand. The most signature shot for me for KUAI Man is her step around forehand, the inside out shot. But that backhand, you saw how much body she got behind it. Full stroke, and it's a winner. I brought up something earlier that I think might be an interesting conversation topic. Xia might be still improving. KUAI Man, you would expect. The best years are ahead. We just wonder, will there be a point, right, where someone's on her way down and the other's still on her way up?
5-7.
Yeah, Xia, the thought of her improving must terrify the rest of the top 100 women, because she's still so complete, even at, I say at this level, thinking if she is going to improve.
I think she has to, and she does. It's amazing. The discipline, all that out of the second towel break. It's a 2-point ball game. Heavy spin here. KUAI Man with a lot of racket speed. You can swing as fast as you can and hit a very slow ball if you contact it just right. So the arc there right to the baseline. Still reading the body language of the opponent, KUAI Man.
Step forward with that left leg, KUAI Man. Put some heat on that backhand.
The first half of this game so far that we saw, it looked like a runaway. Xia looked like she just had all the answers, and KUAI Man in this ever-evolving game has leveled completely. It's got Xia sweating. Well, now a fast serve, and KUAI Man says, you can't bully me. Oh yeah, come in, try to push me off the table. Spin right back, racket head up. This to me is Xia looking nervous.
And we've seen this all week from KUAI Man. She's been under pressure and she's had all the answers. Chop block.
Oh, after that, in a rally like this, the moment that KUAI Man pulls off a chop block in a high heat exchange here and then earns herself the finisher, Xia's shot was still pretty well protected though. Oh man, KUAI Niwa. Like any other emotion, someone can be nervous. It's temporary. I think we've all been sad, and then a minute later something happens and we're just thrilled, or the opposite. It's the same for athletes out here, and finding their confidence to stay free and fluid is so important. Short side of the table, not enough room to hit to, and suddenly Xia with 2 game points.
So often we see Xia challenged and it's at like 7-0, 8-0, 9-0, and then she just steps forward with that extra quality. And it feels like she's done that here in this opener, in the final. She's now got 2 serves under her spell as well to try and close it out.
Good save there, good recovery from Xia, but still the put away down the line. So there's the clip of the net. Not a bad position to be in, but with no spin, still has to take her chances and risk a bit, KUAI Man.
KUAI Man's got such wonderful flexibility in her wrist. When she swings for that forehand, she often leaves it till the very last moment to decide where she's going, and it makes it so hard to know where it is going to land on the table. Shot, engineers a forehand, and when it comes, it doesn't come back.
The physicality required with KUAI playing this shot, then the step around right back to where it came from. Xia didn't take the bait. She opens the gate. And looking for revenge, she is the Avenger. She is Baby Buddha. And this is Endgame.
Welcome back inside the Maverick Arena. So the first game, the first foothold in the final goes the way of the world number one, Adam.
Well, fire has been started.
No flash.
KUAI Jayo shouts the first, and then everything else follows. There's an unusual rhythm to the KUAI Jayo chant.
Second game, soon to serve, love all. Love one.
This serves a wonderful serve to earn that ball inside the table. I'm still not convinced that as confident as Xia is, she's not feeling concern with KUAI on the other side. We can see it. It's not her usual self. It's a struggle. That said, this is what half long is all about. We saw it against Sidorenko in the semifinals. A serve that looks like it might come off the table, but KUAI didn't wait. She was there for the Chiquita, and still it snuck under the blade.
Again, it's not the first time we've seen a slower, spinnier ball from KUAI.
Her backhand has been very versatile and very effective. She comes in with the racket speed and then chooses where to invest it, either in power or spin. Well, we know where the investment was on that one. A long serve and the fast feet of Xia turning the corner. Bottle challenge accepted. By the way, it's a sliding scale between power and spin. Some combination of the two. Oh, surprise, surprise. There's still cable there. Xia probably knows the dimensions of this table better than anybody in the game. But that ball, the arc and the dip on it, made it come down right at the baseline. Seatbelt, buckle up for this best of 7 as Xia abbreviates her stroke to make this nice and efficient. Wow, flexibility there.
She did this earlier in the session this morning against Wang Yidi so many times. We know the leg strength and the core strength. Xia just leans back to create space and then whips that forehand across her body. She's also very happy to counter. She's happy to let you throw the first punch and then she'll counter.
Ma Long taught a lot to the world, especially Team China, which is why he'd been captain for so long until Wang Chuqin recently announced captain.
Yeah, fully deserved that as well for what that man did.
The reason I brought that up is when you hear about someone allowing the other to attack, when he beat Fan Zhendong in 2017 to become back-to-back world champion, he did not initiate as much as Fan Zhendong did.
Wonderful deception from the world number one.
Yeah, that side swipe, that inside out, a little bit of a look to the left, then hand to the right. Loving it.
And this is what she kind of brings to the table and why she's the world number one is when she is possibly feeling nervous or not quite firing on all cylinders, she can then tighten the game up.
Yeah, knowing how to handle your nerves, turning that energy into excitement is a very powerful skill to have.
5, 6.
We all have emotions, whether we show them or not, but if we can control them instead of them controlling us, well, we are quite empowered. She is, oh, so empowered.
7, 5.
It's outbreak time. They can go to it every 6 points. Heavy spin by the world number 1, by Yingsha. Wide into the forehand of KUAI. But listen, if you've watched the quarterfinals, if you've watched the semifinals, you know not to write off KUAI. But right now, she's just getting melted by the flame of Yingsha.
Yeah, the afterburners here as she turns the corner. The speed on this shot, there's no speed limit because she's got the length of the table. Full stroke, side spin on it as well. Were you here for the Where's Waldo competition?
I wasn't, no.
Okay. Well, Yingsha had 6 of the last 8 points before this. The house was so packed the other day, I said WTT should do a Where's Waldo competition. I found Waldo in the crowd.
It's on KUAI to try and find a foothold in this final. As good as her powers of recovery have been this week, she doesn't want to give this world number 1 behemoth a lead. And it's 5 game points.
Bit of a head fake. KUAI throwing up that flexible wrist at the last moment, doing what she does. She's capable. Not many can say that they've beaten Yingsha 2 of their last 4 times. Look at the bend on that. Still 4 game points left for the world number 1.
Heavy spin by Yingsha. She just loads it up into a good area, and she recovers, ready to hit another one if she needed to, but she didn't. It hit the net and carried long. And just like that, world number 1 in this final has started fast. She's got a 2-0 lead over KUAI.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you an opportunity right now to get some merch for that. I need you to go to the beat and get loud. If you want, you can find some.
Hey, there's always lots going on, and Shisha Nyao came out for some selfies and some signatures. This is why the Smash is always the hottest ticket in town. You get to get closer to these world-class athletes than ever before, and one of China's best. She was in the hall earlier, warming up with both athletes this morning, and it's great for people to leave with a lovely bit of memorabilia. Signed bats, signed balls. It's all smiles at the US Smash, but there's no smiles for the corner of KUAI. She could presumably barely hear herself think, Adam. It's a fever pitch out here in the Maverick.
Yeah, when you're used to playing in China and you're ever playing against Yingsha, I think this is, while it's quite a crowd, she's prepared for this. She's used to it. Xu Tiao in the crowd. Fans. Some of them just Yingsha fans, for that matter.
3rd game, KUAI to serve, last all.
So it's not quite must win just yet for KUAI. But she's got to get something going, and we see another blistering backhand.
I feel like Yingsha's found her rhythm. She's found her confidence. It's going to be that much tougher. Don't get me wrong, KUAI still has a lot of answers, but she seems free. She's getting shots a little bit loose now to just explode on. Strawberry attempted, but a long push. She's pulling her around by a string now. If there's a 3-point lead in this game, I think KUAI's going to have to call for a minute to try and come up with some answers.
It's a rare mistake, though, from the world number one at the net.
Nice soft hands. KUAI Mon touching it, dropping it just behind. Short to the forehand after a player stepped around to use that forehand from the deep backhand corner a few times.
3-2.
KUAI Mon has lots of weapons. There's a reason why she's 50-50 with this titan of the game, Xia in their last 4 meetings.
Good hands there, the placement. KUAI Mon gets Xia to push the ball from just behind the table there. And now she can open. When the ball's that deep, there's just so much time for the opponent to react that if it's a push, man, they can set up camp and just power through. So, good start here for KUAI Mon, but she's going to need more than a start.
Really committed to the left-hand side, KUAI Mon, to play the backhand. It left a little bit of space, but Xia couldn't quite find it.
Yeah, it worked out well to put the pressure on. And again, that wrist, keeping it unpredictable, not leaving Xia much time to really plant the feet and set up.
And this is what Xia does so well. She recognizes patterns. She saw KUAI Mon's step, look, and then just fired the ball down the line.
You'd have to imagine part of that is anticipation and the rock, paper, scissors element. What does my opponent want to do? What is my opponent most likely to do? But that right there looked like it would have hit her in the body in the first game. Of course, she got the racket on it a few times. Watch the placement on this, perfectly at the elbow, but Xia gets low. Covers that to bring it back. She's coming back into it, still KUAI Mon in the lead.
Let 5-4.
Sent it off fast. But Yingsha sent it back even quicker.
It's a nice low shot using the safe length of the table there on the diagonal. This is a great way to block from a pattern standpoint in the women's game that's mostly backhand for efficiency. It's also tougher to recoil after a forehand for another.
5-6.
Interesting. KUAI Mon got pushed from pillar to post here as wide as can be, but she got the feet moving. Found a home for her forehand herself.
Yeah, it felt like every time she moved, she had guessed right, so to speak. She had moved to the right place. Surprise, surprise, one more to the backhand as Xia goes parallel in this rally. This feels like the time. If you were on the bench for KUAI Mon after the last game, you say, this is it, this is the one. Going down 0-3 against Xia, I don't know. I'd love the statisticians to find me the last time Xia was beaten after being up 3-0 against anybody.
Yeah, not sure even KUAI Mon could pull that off this week. Oh, it touched the back edge.
6-7.
You heard it. Quick to apologize for Yingsha.
It wasn't deuce in the decider, so it won't hurt much.
KUAI Mon, credit to her, she's a brilliant server. There's been a few cheap points that she's been able to get. Xia bemoans the technique she used there, but this is so often what we see. People can get close, and then she just steps away.
Nice opening created to find this. As a left-handed player, Ellie Samaro's wonderful at this from down low, but this closure, reaching out in front, guiding to the wide forehand of her right-handed opponent. Very tactically well thought out there and executed. The free free hand. When your opponent throws up the free hand, you have done something right. Because even if she catches it, as cool as it looks, no bueno. It's your opponent's point. A behind the back shot is a better attempt, but Sha was just that quick and unpredictable in that moment.
Just like that, it's 8-all. How on earth did the world #1 stay in that?
Not bothered to be pushed back at all. Parallel, a reach. This is where leg strength comes in. She doesn't lose her balance for a moment. And every shot has intention, even on defense. Baseline, topspin,
Yeah.
to the forehand so that I'm already in position.
Late, 8, 9.
I love that about that last point. Sha just kicking the ball, putting topspin on it. It went up high, it hit the table, and then it drove forward towards KUAI Man, I should say. Wow, what a backhand, though. And what a time to pull that out. At 8-9 down, she rips a backhand cross court.
It's been a signature shot for her. Again, it might not be the flashiest shot, but it keeps her in position, and it's been effective. Selfie time. Wow. Half selfie, half not. Maybe they're just taking video of the rest of the crowd here. Look at the serve percentages. Sha, 2/3. KUAI Man, less. Well, now change of pace. That's interesting. I love watching where the ball bounces in moments like this. Watch where KUAI Man's bounces on this ball. Near the baseline, deeper to the backhand, enough into the crossover that someone who loves to step around has a longer way to go.
And it's game point now for the #7 seed. And it's another slower, spinnier roll-up from KUAI Man. And we said it wasn't quite must win. But she did get it done.
That push right there on receive was super. Yes, it was reactionary. She wanted to attack and she had to change her mind. But the push was so uncomfortable that she got Sha to play a ball back that allowed her the opening. Fourth ball, stealing what would have been a third ball attack and taking this third game. The plot thickens as KUAI Man gets one game on the board.
And look at the fans. Look at all the signs. It's the hottest ticket in town. Maverick Arena is vibrating at the moment. China being represented very well, as they always are around the globe. Is that Buzz Lightyear in the front row I can see there?
Oh, yeah.
She's got a Mexico top on as well, as an Englishman. I don't want to see that in a close-up. Currently playing in the soccer, but it's back to table tennis we go. And it's back to big time. KUAI Man. Mandy, as she's known in China.
I've heard the nickname quite a bit. She's warm to it. Yeah, in China, interesting. Curious to know more about that. Sha, just in case she ever loses her blade, has that identification on the bottom.
Yeah.
Picture, proof of ownership of
First
racket.
game.
Yes.
Soon to serve. Love home.
So here we go then. Did things just get a little more interesting in this women's final? Feels like they might have done, yeah.
A narrow margin victory, though. It feels like a tug of war in terms of confidence. As KUAI Man gets more confident, Sha-Sha's confidence, you could imagine, might diminish a little bit.
Has there ever been a female player who's got as powerful a forehand as Sha, do you think, Adam?
If you were just measuring speed and strength, probably. But if you were also measuring consistency, unpredictability, reliability, I mean, there are a lot of factors. And I don't even say that with great confidence. It's just that the sport's been around for a while, and there are some strong women, but the legs of Sha, the work she puts in, it's possible not.
Yeah, you mentioned the word I love there, reliability. So often it's deadly. She's also able to squeeze it and shoehorn it into rallies where it seems like it isn't going to work, but it does.
It's also a different, I mean, it's a little bit tough to measure, right? You've got players like Mima Ito who can smash, and Satsuki Odo that can just demonstrate serious speed.
Yeah. Probably worth shouting out Sabina Winter as well. She's got a cannon of a forehand.
For sure, good point.
It was a wonderful back and forth. There's that forehand there. Fading round the ball. She recovers so quickly, Sha. Both of these two, to be fair.
Little reminder if you're just joining us, Sha before that last game had only dropped 1 game this entire event. Not for lack of strong opponents. Even getting through, oh, that was adorable. Even getting through the qualifiers is not easy. A lot of legends of the sport, people with WTT titles didn't make it out of the qualification round, let alone through the round of 64 or the final.
Yeah, so often against Sha, it's more about not being embarrassed in defeat. To just earn a game feels like a victory against her, such as how strong a grip she has on the rest of the world. But again, it's another misread, or a slight misread on this KUAI serve. And it keeps it within a 2-point ball game here in this fourth. Reminder, it's a best of 7.
I was wondering when the parallel would come out. Just a little less time for Sha to react, and with the height on these balls, KUAI is able to change it up very subtly. Ooh, 16 out of the last 32. Doesn't matter which player you pick, you get the same result. Quite balanced.
Late. 5-4.
And we said that KUAI's dangerous. This is only her second ever Grand Smash event. 2 years ago at the Singapore Smash was the first. Wonderful forehand to finish it.
Do you mean where she made it to a final or just participating?
What do you mean?
You said this is her second Grand Smash event?
No, final.
Okay, good, good. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page here.
She's been a winner at FIDE contender, star contender level as well. Would love to add a smash to her time, to her resume. But it's a big challenge because Sha seems to be peaking again.
Yeah, we've seen many players top in the world that aren't able to pass even the quarterfinals, depending on where you come from, who you play for, and who you get in your draw. This is as tough as it comes.
7-5.
KUAI did really well to absorb that forehand here because it was a big one that came from the world #1.
Yeah, really had to close that racket, reach out in front, turn it down to keep it on the table. Use the spin coming in, and it's a 2-point ball game. So back from the second towel break, Sha just drying her hand, despite having just come back from a towel break. Sometimes it's a little bit more like a, not a mantra, but you know, your thing. Part of the routine.
8-5.
Not superstition, just a little stition.
And this time Sha forcing KUAI into a battle of recovery in that forehand. So clever with her placement, the world #1. So clever with her serves when she needs them to be.
5-9.
In a lot of sports, even here in the United States, people will write all these plans just to make sure they have the best sort of chance of taking advantage of having the ball. When you're on serve, it's the same. But this was, in some senses, an interception. It was stolen on receive. And Sha sets up 5 game points for a 3-1 lead by turning that corner and playing her forehand.
What a brilliant read, what a brilliant counter. 99.9% of the world wouldn't even get bat on ball. The world number one did, and she sent it back with interest. And what a way to re-establish her 2-game lead here. Number one seed, trying to add a 6th Grand Smash title to her resume. And she's 3-1 up here on KUAI Man. So let's take you behind the scenes and look at the fairy tale story of this event. He's having fun back there, practicing the snakes. Can Vladimir Sidorenko pull off another shocking upset? Or will Sora Matsushima claim his first Grand Smash title? It's coming up right after this one.
Can't have more contrasting body language moments before the match, my goodness. As KUAI Man calls out the flashes
Please,
in
no
the crowd.
flash.
Sidorenko just looking like a guy who had some free
Fifth
time.
game,
And Sora,
KUAI to serve, last all.
like he had a tough homework assignment he didn't really want to do or had to redo.
Yeah, for Sidorenko, he's just living the dream right now. And he's living it like a dream. And he's been wonderful all week here, as has KUAI Man. She needs those powers of recovery again that she had in the quarters and the semis.
Last 2.
It's a good way to start this. Now it is must win for KUAI Man. She needs 3 games on the bounce to try and leave with the title.
On the bounce, I think, is going to be a key factor here in many senses. She's going to have to be on the balls of her feet. She's going to have to initiate and move very quickly. It's a fine balance of being relaxed, but making sure that you're in position enough that you don't have to panic, that you have good options. Because when Shasha turns on the pressure, it's a pressure that you can't find from anyone else. Yeah, sure, they practice together in the training hall, but match time is a little bit different. Good parallel here. She's used it effectively on multiple occasions. Just guiding, that's the calm. She keeps the racket high until she earns herself the opportunity to drop the racket head and then add that much more force to the ball.
There's that backhand. But it went straight into that forehand of Shasha.
Shasha's leaning here, and watch what she has the wherewithal to do. She's leaning, she's reaching, she's not on balance, but the ball still comes back in the perfect place to make it uncomfortable for KUAI Man.
Let 3-2.
Speed game. It's just amazing to me that Shasha can just drill the ball forward as fast as she does on this. And KUAI Man reaching across the body not only makes the shot, but moves back into the table in the process, twice.
She walked the feet in really well, KUAI Man. You said about she needs to be on the bounce, on her tiptoes, and she was there. Took the ball incredibly early.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Shasha wipe the table after this.
Yeah.
Let's just see here. She looks at it for a moment. Okay, that might be enough to clear it. She's got powerful stare.
for Kwai Man. I thought she was going to do it then as well.
Yeah, they both had moments where the rally would normally continue. And then there was a bounce that was sort of like, eh? Ruby? Short side catches the edge, a little skate there, a rail slide from Kwai Man.
Oh, this is going to be the perfect view. Yeah, ball came up. That's how you know it's an edge and not a side. And that's why we didn't go to TTR.
That's interesting. There's a lot to talk about there, but I know what you mean.
4-6.
Pressured that wide backhand of Kwai Man. It was a serve receive that got away from the world number 1. But she did well to bring the point back under her spell, and it's a 2-point ball game here. Wonderful forehand again, up the line, up that parallel. You could see where Kwai Man was expecting it to go cross court, and it didn't.
And that was a top shelf shot right there. That was quality, and the timeout now on Kwai Man's side. Still has a lead. It's nice to have that. Again, speaking to yourself, the most important conversation you'll ever have is the one that you have with yourself. And Kwai Man, with no coach on the bench, has positivity right now, at least in this 6-5 lead. But whatever she can find, the plan is going to have to get her through this game and then start to do the same just after that.
Yeah, as we look at her past 4-tier results, semi-finalist here last year. She's gone one further this time. Can she do the unthinkable and pull this one back? Round of 16 then for Europe Smash, China Smash, and then the first one of this year along the way. Still hunting that real marquee WTT.
All right, who do we have? Wang Manyu on the left in front of Ma Lin, who's on his cell phone. We've got Bai Suwon next to Wang Manyu. Shi Xuanyao, who did her autograph session. Qin Yuxuan in the back next to Didi. In front, Xu Yi, and on the far right, Zhu Ziyu maybe? Tough to tell. Wang Yu run the team doctor. Covered a little bit in the shadow there.
That is a superpower, because the team doctor, you can only see about 30% of his face.
But he's got a very unique 30% to his face. That was the only, if they had showed me his full face, I wouldn't have known. I've only seen that exact 30%.
Something in the crowd. Got the atmosphere up a little bit.
The other 70% of Wang Yurun's face. Here we go. Some blushing in the front row, that's fun.
Kwai Man did so well to tuck up the world number 1 here in that body. Look at that one. Barely any space to move, but she found a response.
Perfect description after a seatbelt shot there, hugging the sign. Up, up. When you recognize you're on TV. Jayo Sun. Little sunshine there next to the Jayo. Ooh, not just the placement, but the deception on the spin. Xiaoxiao gets around this. There's no follow through. That's called covering up your tracks. Give as little clue as you can to the opponent. Timeout so far has worked well. 2 in a row. Got her edge.
Yeah, IOU cashed in.
Yep. You can't just write #1 fan and then post new names on it whenever you, I mean, you can obviously, but it just doesn't mean it, right? Copy and paste love letters to people, come on.
Yeah, so for context, that fan has been here all week and there's been a different name every single time.
6-8.
Maybe they're just everyone's favorite fan.
It's completely possible. Yeah, it could be the #1 table tennis fan, period. Ivor Montague.
This was interesting from Kwai Man. Played it really wide on this one with side spin, and then look how deep this push goes. Right into the baseline, right into the white line.
It's a very unusual combination of shots, and it sets up a 3-point lead. Speed right here. that shot, the combination again, how can you possibly recover? Long serve, she knows the plan. Talk about moves in advance. I think she could have scripted that. This is when you know what's most likely to come back. Well, now, service trouble. We've got 3 of the 4 players left across both events are left-handed. But there's another lefty who's got incredible serves. KUAI Man sets up 3 game points to make it a 3-2 lead for Sasha.
And it was never, ever going to be anything other than epic. Because I mention it, because it's so relevant. Quarterfinals, KUAI Man was down. Semifinals, she was facing the exit door. And she recovered then, and she's starting to recover now. KUAI Man now has 2 games on the board there, 11-7 in the 5th. Listen to the noise in the Maverick, and there's one of the cutest leaning ball kids.
Soon to serve, love all.
For what it's turning out to be a wonderful final here. Said that last game was must win for KUAI Man. She got it done.
Good reach on defense for one, but Sasha taking advantage using the length of the table with her opponent far behind. Not a bad ball, doesn't miss by much. This rally could have continued, looking like Alexi out there. I'll tell you what I like about this match. Specifically, that KUAI Man's playing so well that it's forcing Sasha to think of new ideas, to make her nervous.
The celebration there. It's a beautiful backhand, stepping inwards from the world #1.
You don't get to see the greatest in the game play their greatest unless someone unlocks it. If it's required, right? It wouldn't be interesting to see Yingsha, as good as the ball kids might be, play one of the ball kids right now. You wouldn't really appreciate how many levels there are to the game, but KUAI Man is bringing out the absolute top from the top. What it takes. Sasha, not vacation time yet, but she was going way out there for that one. Inside out forehand in the opposite corner, coast to coast she goes. Reached. Oh, can somebody else grab that? I can't reach it. KUAI Man. Speedy, recovered, efficient. Ah, something. There's something. Sora found that too.
Yeah, not that Felix was too pleased about it.
Yeah, little disagreement there about existence.
KUAI Man is able to put so much spin on her forehand. And you can tell because that's a few times it's hit Sun Yingsha's bat and just kicked long.
Sasha also took the risk to play the short side, the less safe shots of the options. But for elements of surprise, when she makes it, it pays off. That's the risk. I know Jimmy's not here right now, but he'd be thrilled to hear us say down the line table tennis is winning table tennis.
So Xia, world number 1, still has her timeout. If KUAI can muster a little run of points here, we might see it.
Short side looking attractive in that moment. I want to see Xia play it around the net on an opportunity like this. It's an option, but this worked just fine. Hold the fort down.
Xia went for this fading forehand. Didn't quite come down, but the idea was wonderful. She'd wrong-footed KUAI and earned the opportunity to try and find the space. Both of these so...
Give up. You might be out of position, but if you can just get it on the table, you force your opponent to make one more shot. And who knows, between nets and edges, it was a net. Wow. Not Kaufman, but the one splitting the table in two. Annette Kaufman's great as well, different left-hander, but in this moment, KUAI with a much-needed point.
Heavy backspin, it looks like, from Xia. As much as she could muster in the moment. It hit KUAI's bat and sunk like a bowling ball.
In a swimming pool.
Wow, when do you ever see Yingsha step right across and play that backhand banana like she did here, but she's trying to apply pressure. Such is the challenge she's facing.
Yeah, and she's also chasing a lot of shots. KUAI is playing in combinations. Much like that point where Xia had 3 in a row that felt like she knew exactly what was coming. KUAI setting it up. But she steals control at this point. Hands on the steering wheel as Xia turns the shot into her own. She's there for the parallel. Watch this. 1. And then she comes right back cross court, wide enough to the backhand that step around was not as possible as KUAI expected.
Six.
Pretty much the live fan vote in-house.
I love it when Xia does this. She goes down to serve and she just takes an extra beat. She makes you wait for her rhythm.
There were a lot of mind games in the men's singles semifinals. Probably the women's as well. But after all, that's all part of the game. And you can understand why she makes you wait. Because it's worth the wait. Look at this. Ripped, torn, and straight to Barrierville.
That was more akin to a home run at the Dodger Stadium, that one. And she's 3 points away from the title. But again, this tricky server pulls out something that just mystifies the world number 1.
You said home run earlier. This is swinging Shohei Ohtani right now. The rip and the power that she gets on this after such a fast exchange, the lean, the seatbelt, and a backhand jumping. Boom. She channeled her inner Super Mario on that. I know she loves him.
2 away now from her 6th Grand Smash title. One foot on the finish line for the world number 1.
She's 1 for 1 for smashes this year, and she's 1 point away for being 2 for 2. Lady Liberty, Baby Buddha. She's got the serve to do it.
She survived the net cord. but it wasn't enough, because KUAI kept uncorking forehands.
Wow, abbreviated stroke time and time again. Whatever the fortune was, Shasha's dealing with it. KUAI acknowledging it, but she's got the serves back if she can get through the first.
What drama in the Maverick Arena in this women's final. Just wonder, this power of recovery that KUAI has here in Southern California, at what point does that start to enter the psyche of both?
Well, I think as a spectator, we can enjoy how many match points she's saved. And a timeout on Shasha's side. Let's just think about it for a minute. You called the Miwa match. I called the Sato match. The Sato match, she was down 8-10 in the 6th, I think. Maybe it was the 5th. Either way, saved, I think, 7 total across the match. It was unbelievable. It was Liang Jingquin-like mental strength. And she's young, she's 22 years old. Shasha, at 25, maybe hasn't reached her peak yet. I think she can play for a long time, but as amazing as Luxembourg is, China's got a lot of champions waiting. But look at her results in recent events. Champion of the Singapore Smash 2023, China Smash 24, Singapore Smash 25, Europe Smash 25, and the Singapore Smash earlier this year. What if she were to have a clean sweep of 4 smashes in the same year?
You wouldn't put it past her. She's a magician at the table. But she's got to face a KUAI serve now to try and get this one over the line.
Those blue lights, that's interesting. That might be a sign. You know, blue light wakes you up. So, our camera team might have been clever, as people hope and put it out there in the universe for their player.
9-10.
It's the serve with KUAI down 9-10. 3rd championship point for Shasha. Got the net, KUAI recovers it, and the ball that feels like T-ball for Shasha, this one right here, we've seen how much she's punished that. It's a whiff, a swing and a miss. Except 1 strike, you're out. And we've got deuce in the 6th.
What drama here in the Maverick Arena. What a serve receive to pull out at 10-all.
Let's look at it one more time. Chiquita is fast. I mean, backhand attack, straight cross court, as low as can be from the forehand side.
11-10, please.
This is 4 points in a row and a game point to send it to the decider.
It might be KUAI's year. My word, the powers of recovery. She doesn't know when she's beaten. She's faced game points and match points and the elimination so many times this week. But here we go, decider time for all the marbles, for all the gold.
So looking on the Chinese team, Head coach Ma Lin, Wang Manyu, who's a world champion in the United States, Bai Siwon was warming up Xia for a match earlier in this round. You'll be seeing her. She's done well. A lot of youngsters from China. KUAI Man, one of them, but she's one of the early bloomers, let's say. And look at this record in deciding games. Xia 80%, KUAI Man 44. That is a crazy differential, but it speaks to the mental strength of the enlightened one, Baby Buddha.
Oh, the edge. Hey, listen, that same stat in deciding games would have been read in the quarterfinals against KUAI Man. It would have been read in the semi-finals against KUAI Man. Write her off at your peril. This is a tug of war out here. But Xia with another baseball bat-like backhand. Fanning backhand there from KUAI Man. But Xia had commitment. She went full send, and rightly so. She's earned the first 2 points here in this decider.
Another never give up moment. The chase is worth it. If KUAI Man had a timeout left, she'd use it now, but she doesn't. There are no lifelines. The parachutes have been pulled. The bridges have been kicked off. They stand alone on this lonely island, battling for 103 grand and some big and bigger trophies.
How confident does KUAI Man feel right now? Knowing that she's battle-tested, knowing that she's got through the other rounds to bring her to this moment. She steps forward, different serve location for the number 7 seed. And she's stepping forward in this decider as well.
We wouldn't normally speak this way about KUAI Man. It wouldn't normally be such a shock for her to be this deep. But the score lines, where she's come from to get here, you have to imagine Sidorenko has a similar attitude. If I can do what I've done, I can do anything. Good read on the strawberry. Xia handles the side spin well, and at the first towel break, a bit tighter than it was when KUAI Man was down 0-3. I like the idea. It opened up the line. We've seen KUAI Man make similar shots. Never easy with the quality coming in, but what's easy for KUAI Man and what's easy for other people are two very different things.
It was a wonderful serve because it caught KUAI Man stretching forward. Wasn't quite sure how much spin was on the ball.
To me, it looked like she had 3 different shots in mind. And at the end, trying to sideswipe on a flick to the deep backhand corner, it felt like 2 changes of heart, and she went with the 3rd choice, and it was just too much to try and fool the world number 1. Didn't miss by much, though.
Xia has got her foot on the gas.
This is where leg days really pay off. Xia putting in the work. I've seen her in the training hall after playing a match, and I've seen her before a match, and they're both as intense as when she's playing a match.
3-6.
That is a wonderful slow spin up down the parallel. That's a brave shot.
Bravery, that's been the theme today.
And it's a show again from Xia. KUAI Man tried to up the power and go cross court. Couldn't quite find the table. And Shasha re-establishes that 4-point advantage here with 2 serves to come.
You used the word chokehold earlier, and I think that's the perfect term. Shasha, the reason she can have such a chokehold is because she understands what her responsibility is. It's to raise the level, to make the others work that much harder on the team. And she continues to do it. Don't think that KUAI won't have less quality sleep tonight because of Game 7 here if it continues the way it did. But that one night, there'll be a lot of processing going on, and with this momentum, 6 of the last 8, Shasha knows that the long picture, the big game, is that KUAI will be better for it.
Absolutely. Shasha 2 away now from a 6th Grand Smash title. Make that 1 away. And KUAI has got to go to the well again. She's got to summon up some powers of recovery, but even this one surely can't be done.
Well, that's one way to survive, my goodness. We saw Truls from 2-9 down deuce it up in the decider. That ball came in hot, and it came back absolutely boiling. 1 championship point saved, 6 more to go for Shasha.
Shasha wins her 6th Smash title.
And she does it in style, not for lack of competition. Finally, somebody could close the door on KUAI. You said she doesn't know when she's lost. Well, she hadn't. Before this, she never had. Not here, not in LA. But Shasha finally was able to remind the rest of the team and the rest of the world that there is a bar and that it keeps moving up. The standards don't stop evolving. Baby Buddha, like it's nothing. Doesn't rub it in. She simply cleans her racket, puts it in a case of a photographer, and gets ready to do what she does and lead the team to continue growing in the world of table tennis.
And this is how it went down. 7 games of wonderful table tennis, 70 points to 58. Shasha recording just over a 63% clip on her service percentage win. Shout out to KUAI. She tried to rally, but she couldn't quite get it